Hello everyone, welcome to yet another fun-packed episode of Stockbridge Sketchworks. I am your haptic hornblower, Peter Stockbridge, and we are continuing our Joaquin Phoenix sketch. I hope everyone's doing okay today. It's swiftly approaching Christmas time. December is almost upon us, and it's kind of like a nice time of year. I do kind of appreciate the cold and the warmth, from the cold of outside and the warmth of inside, and all that traditional Christmas spirit. It is nice. I do love it. So, the past few years, I haven't really sort of celebrated Christmas all too much. Just haven't been bothered, to be quite honest. I've been, in mourning, I think, probably, for most of the time. But this year I'm hoping, to do something a bit more lively. Something a bit more high-spirited. I have been known to go to midnight mass with my mother, and I don't know whether I'll do it this year. Probably. I'm not a Catholic by nature, but there's something about it which don't know, just kind of rings true to me somehow. There's a very sort of It's meaningful for me in some way. I'm not sure why, because I believe in the Vedic philosophy, not the Catholic or the whatever philosophy. But yet there is something about a church, maybe it's the tall sort of arch-like architecture, or the way it's laid out. I'm not too sure, to be quite honest, but yeah, I do. I have been known to go to those events on Christmas Eve. Anyway, I should probably talk about the sketch. So we're kind of just sort of touching up a few things. I now know that the next thing that I need to do is to finish off the rest of his attire, which basically means if I'm going to do any detailed work to the face, or sort of, I should say, any more detailed work to the face, then sort of now would probably be a good point. To be honest, this isn't an overly exciting episode. It is just me filling in some gaps and doing some gradient shading and so on and so forth. I've neglected his bottom lip. There's a lot of orange going on in his face, more than I realised, and I'm going to kind of just work some of that in. I don't want to go completely overboard. I don't want to overdo it. But there's certainly some stuff going on with his lower lip that I need to take care of as well. You might be able to notice that in between episodes I tidied up the hand a little bit. I added in some deeper shades and added some highlight to his red blazer there. I'm not 100% convinced on it at the moment, and my lighting setup at the moment means that the light on the right hand side, because there's a light on that side, it's directly shining at the sheet of paper, and it's causing the black to look grey, and that's not the case. So just be mindful of that. We are doing this laborious task of going through and shading whole big areas. So, I mean, I've said this before, but I'm trying to sort of be somewhere in between doing detailed work and, I wouldn't say necessarily vague work, but because of his nature, his character, I am just sort of, I'm forcing the issue rather than being careful. I'm not sure if that makes any sense. The sheet of paper keeps coming out of its slot position, and it's a bit annoying. So yeah, I'm trying to be somewhere in between, but of course it all depends on what part of the sketch I'm, working on, really. It's funny how over a period of time some colours can sort of fade. What looked black the day before maybe doesn't look so black, or either that or I'm going absolutely insane. It could be the fact that I'm leaving it exposed to the air. I honestly, I have no idea. And, may not even be true. So on the right hand side there, you can see I've faded out some of the black at the top. That'll be because I'm going to throw in some red and stick to that sort of blood splattering style. I'm being so forceful at the moment. And there's also the final bit at the top. That's going to be the next episode. And I think that's the last one. We are pretty much nearly done after this episode, and it's been fun. It's been fun, this one. The hand in the foreground was a bit of a challenge. I'm going to leave it pretty much as you see, just because I'm happy with it. It took me sort of, about a good hour to make some changes. But yeah, no, I am happy with it overall. The face behind him, his alternative face, not 100% pleased. At some point I do go over it in this episode and sort of try to bring back some colour. His nose is looking particularly desaturated at the moment in comparison with everything else. And there's another sort of slight issue is that there's quite a lot of red on the picture, so I want to try to sort of break that up with some stark highlights and shadows. Again, I'm trying to be subtle, but forceful as well. Oh, lovely. slight refinements here and there. It can be a fairly laborious process, and I think I might be feeling it a little bit today. To be quite honest, I've suffering some organ-related issues. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure if it's a digestion issue or a posture issue. I've mentioned this before, and I'm trying to sort of slowly cross things off the list of what it could be. So I'm eating less, I'm eating healthier, less intake of dairy products, and I'm trying not to eat so late because I do tend to sort of work into the night, and the last thing I do before I go to bed is eat, so that I don't think I can do anymore. I'm not sure whether it's my posture or whether it's that, or whether it's a culmination of that and, other things. So, as I said, I'm crossing everything off the list, but some mornings I wake up in complete agony. I gotta pop 3 ibuprofens, and even then it doesn't really go away. I have to sit upright for what feels like ages, probably sort of like between a half hour to an hour. And oh god, it's really annoying. But I can't help myself. I can't help. But I wouldn't say I'm fat, right? But I like eating. I never really was bothered about eating, and I would just sort of eat to get myself done with, and so I could move on. But at the moment, I'm kind of enjoying eating. That's kind of not good, really. I mean, I can handle it. It's fine, but I do sort of lament when I can't have my cheese. Gotta love the cheese. So I've reduced my diet to sort of vegetables, rice, and I'll try not to have dairy products in whatever shape it comes. So butter and milk, cheese, yada yada yada. I'm trying to do more exercise as well, so I try to go out for a walk every day. Some days I'm medically not up to it, but I usually go out and try to just walk around the block at least, you know what I mean? Get the old blood pumping. So yes, I'm doing what I mentioned earlier, which is just sort of going over with some yellow. Seems to kind of work quite well, but I don't want to overdo it, you see. I'm being as subtle as I can. And I thought, well, I'd better just get this out of the way, because I need to move on, really. And I don't like the prospect of hover drawing, or, it's what I call hover drawing, where you have to kind of not rest your hand anywhere, You have to rest the arm towards the elbow side rather than sort of, putting your wrist on something. That can compromise the accuracy of things for me. So I usually try to just colour, sketch things in order so I don't have to go over things too much. I'm always mindful of it. With each session I record, I always try to sort of vary the mic setup. So I've got the mic set up in a certain way. Today I'm hoping that this is working quite well. If it is, then I'll probably continue doing it this way. This Dolby app that I have is absolutely amazing. I recommend it to anyone who's starting out with doing podcast related stuff. They need a sort of professionally sounding mic. This will do it, really. As long as you have a fairly decent phone. I love this music so much. This music I've been listening to, Jesus. It's getting on, this music. I think it's like, let's see. I think it's probably at least 10 years old, 10 to 15 years old, this. And it comes from a game. I won't say what game it is, but if you're a fan of the game, you'll know what it's from. And you'll also know why I'm not mentioning it. But it's such a beautiful piece of music. It's a suite of some of the more calm music from the game. Some clever chap mixed it all together. And I love it, basically. I hope you do too. It's very calming. So there's a lot of things to consider when you're going from black and white to colour pencil work, and it's taken me quite a number of projects to get to where I am, and I've gotten to where I am by sheer determination. You know, I mean, it's a case of wanting to do it. And when you get to that point where all your inhibitions and your fears go, and you know that you can pull something off and do something properly. With sketches, I look at a source photo that perhaps a client has sent me, and I know pretty much straight away whether it's going to be an easy ride or not. Because, you know, with this one, I usually choose things, when I'm doing something for myself, I usually choose something which has a challenge attached to it. In this case, it's his it's his hand in the foreground, and it's blurry, so it's kind of, you know, it's weird to sort of sketch a blurry object, and I've never attempted that before, so. But I always choose stuff that will sort of tax me a little bit. And when a potential client sends me something and I say, yeah, no, I can do that, it's nice to know that I can look at something and go, yeah, and feel good about it. But I mean, there are some cases where someone's handed me something and I'm like, oh crap, okay. So there's one big one coming towards the end of the year for someone that I met in a game, just a sort of an acquaintance. I mentioned that I have a YouTube channel and I do art, and we got talking about it, and so she sent me something and she wants me to put something together for her. So I'll be tackling that hopefully towards the end of the year. It'll probably be the last thing I do for the year. It's quite scary. I haven't really attempted anything like that before, and I am actually praying that it works out. But more info on that to come. So we're working on the shading side of his shirt now. And when you're shading in things over a colour that you've already laid down, it can be quite hard to get a sort of uniform shade. I found myself kind of struggling a little bit with it. It's not really very helpful when it comes to blending much either. Perhaps there's room for changing the way in which I do this. It's one of those things that I'm probably going to have to sort of run some rough experiments on in my own time. But usually I'm the sort of person to just sort of run with something, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and I do things by trial and error rather than sort of experimenting beforehand, Well, I've put it off for long enough, and we're grabbing the red pencil and tackling this big red area. It's important to get something good to listen to that you like when you're doing art. I usually like to listen to Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant and Carl Pilkington on XFM. There's a whole series of stuff. It's fairly old now, but it's still funny as fuck, and I love it. There's also another YouTube channel called After Work Reactions, and I watch that daily because it's really one of the few things that puts my spirits up. The guy who runs it is basically sort of like a reaction channel. I'm not sure if he's American or Canadian or British, but he watches British stuff and he loves it. And he has such an infectious laugh. It's one of those laughs that you just automatically laugh at, And he's in love with things like Father Ted and Fawlty Towers and Blackadder, all sorts of types of British humour. And so I watch him because he's a laugh. That's After Work Reactions if you want to check him out. I don't know the guy, but he's just, he's one of those people that just, it's such a pleasing thing to listen to, and you're always in good spirits by the end of his video, just because of his laugh. This, I should mention, is 2 hours worth of work, squeezed down into half an hour. So that time it took me to sketch that red area was a lot longer than it looked. So we're just doing the waistcoat, the base layer. And we are approaching the end of the episode. It's not a very sort of exciting one this time, I'm sorry. I am really tired, so I'm not as flamboyant as I usually am, so I must apologise. Losing a lot of sleep lately, but that is irrelevant. So, as I always mention, I do art for free, and you can subscribe to my channel and request something from me. Now, you've got a rolling monthly chance for your requests to be picked, so it doesn't, need to be just one. There are terms and conditions, fairly easy to understand. You can find them on my About page. I have an Instagram account. I also have a website, but that is still under construction. But you can reach me by just posting a comment or sending me an email. Address is in my YouTube About page. And I will respond to you within 24 hours. I am happy to sketch something for you if it obviously follows the guidelines. And I won't charge you for it. I do accept donations, although I don't fish for them. That's not why I'm on this channel. I won't say no to a few quid, but it's just, I'm here to sketch for people and do art for people. That's why I'm on this channel, and that's why I have a channel. So if you like what you see, you know what you need to do. I don't beg, and I hate it when you have YouTube channels that beg. It winds me up, and some of them are so bleeding obvious. They throw an affiliate thing at you that you have to pass, skip 5 minutes with, and there's always something that they're pushing, and you clicked on a bloody video to watch the video. You don't want to have to go through just like crap of them begging. So I won't be doing that. I never do. And I think it's better that the presentation and the content speaks for itself, rather than having a host that, begs people all the time. People don't like that. So I'm not that kind of person, but what I am is someone who hopes that you've enjoyed the content that I do, and it enjoys me talking shit, I suppose. I mean, there's a lot I could sort of rant on about, but it's difficult to know where to sort of start or stop, really. But as I said, yes, the next episode is probably going to be the last. I'm not entirely sure, but it's looking that way. And until then, I hope you have a lovely day. I hope everything is okay. And I will see you on the next episode. Take care of yourself.